Ben saved $100,000 by age 25 on a normal salary. He did almost nothing fancy. This is Ben. He's 25 years old. He drives a 12-year-old car. His couch came from a friend who was moving. His apartment has a roommate. If you passed Ben on the street, you would not look twice. Ben has $100,000, not from an inheritance, not from crypto, not from a viral business, not from rich parents. Ben has never earned more than $58,000 in a single year of his life. He saved $100,000 by 25 on a normal salary. He did almost nothing fancy. In our last two videos, you met Maya, who was broke on a good salary, and Jordan, who was trapped by his student loans. Ben is the answer to both of them. And by the end of this video, you're going to see that what Ben did is something almost anyone watching could copy. The boring truth about Ben. Let's get one thing out of the way immediately, because it's the thing people most want to believe. Ben did not get rich. He is not rich. $100,000 at 25 is not a yacht. It will not let him stop working. What Ben did is more important than getting rich. Ben bought himself something most people his age don't have at any price. Ben didn't buy luxury. He bought freedom, and freedom was cheaper than the luxury his friends bought instead. Here's Ben's actual history. No drama in it at all. At 18, Ben went to an in-state public university and lived at home for the first 2 years to cut costs. He graduated with $12,000 in loans. Not zero, but a fraction of Jordan's $80,000. At 22, he got a normal job. Starting salary, $46,000. Over the next 3 years, with 2 raises and 1 job switch, he worked his way up to $58,000. That's it. That is the entire income story. A flat, ordinary line. Nothing about Ben's paycheck explains the $100,000. So if it wasn't the income, and it genuinely wasn't, then what was it? It was 4 habits. We're going to walk through all 4, and I want you to notice something as we go. Not one of them is clever. Not one of them requires you to be good at math, or to pick a stock, or to start a business. They are almost insultingly simple. That is the entire point. Habit 1 and 2. The gap and the autopilot. Habit 1. He lived below the line. Remember Maya? Maya's spending rose to meet her income every single time she got a raise. The gap between what she earned and what she spent was almost zero. Sometimes it was negative. That's what a credit card balance is. Ben did the opposite, and he did it on purpose. When Ben got a raise, he did not upgrade his life. He kept living roughly the way he lived the year before. The roommate, the old car, the friend's couch, and he let the raise fall straight into the gap. Wealth is not what you earn. Wealth is the gap between what you earn and what you spend. This is the single most important sentence in this entire channel. So let me say it plainly. A person making $58,000 who spends $40,000 is building wealth. A person making $120,000 who spends $120,000 is not. The bigger earner can look richer, drive nicer, post better, and still be one bad month from zero. Ben's gap across these years averaged a little over $1,500 a month, not because he was deprived. Ben still traveled, still ate out, still had a life. He just refused to let every raise disappear into a nicer lifestyle. He decided what enough looked like, and then he stopped moving the line. Habit 2. He made it automatic. Now, having a gap is one thing. Most people who try to save do it the hard way. Money lands in checking. They live their month and they try to save whatever is left at the end. That almost never works. Because by the end of the month, there is no left. Life eats it. We saw exactly that happen to Maya. Ben flipped the order. He paid himself first, and he made it automatic so his own willpower was never even involved. Don't save what's left after spending. Spend what's left after saving. Here's how Ben set it up. And this took him one afternoon once. The day after payday, an automatic transfer moved money into his 401k before he ever saw it. A second automatic transfer moved money into his Roth IRA. A third moved a set amount into a high-yield savings account for his emergency fund. Whatever survived all three transfers landed in checking. And that, and only that, was Ben's spending money for the month. Notice what this does. Ben never has to feel disciplined. He never has to resist temptation on the 28th of the month because the saving already happened on the 2nd. The money was gone before it could be missed. His future was funded before his present could spend it. If you remember nothing else from this video, set up one automatic transfer this week. 1. Even $50. The amount barely matters at first. The system is the thing. Habit 3. He let the money work. Here's a mistake Ben almost made, and the one most careful savers do make. For his first year of saving, Ben kept everything in a plain savings account. He thought he was being safe. He was actually being slowly robbed. Money sitting in cash doesn't stay still. Every year, inflation makes everything around it cost a little more. So the same pile of cash quietly buys less. Cash isn't safe. Cash is shrinking. So Ben did habit 3. He put his long-term money to work, and he did it in the least exciting way possible. Ben didn't pick stocks. He bought all of them at once, and then he left them alone. Inside his 401k and his Roth IRA, Ben didn't try to find the next big company. He didn't day trade. He didn't follow tips from a guy on the internet. He bought what's called a low-cost index fund. An index fund is simple. Instead of betting on one company, you own a tiny slice of hundreds of the largest companies at once. When one fails, it barely matters. You're not betting on a winner. You're betting that the overall economy over decades keeps growing. Historically, it has, and here is the part that genuinely surprises people. This boring approach beats most professionals. The majority of expert stock pickers, paid full-time to beat the market, fail to do it over the long run. Ben, doing nothing, quietly outperformed people doing everything. Then Ben did the hardest easy thing in all of investing. When the market dropped, and during these years, it dropped hard more than once, Ben did not panic. He did not sell. He did not even look very often. He kept his automatic transfers running straight through the scary headlines. The market rewards patience and punishes panic. Ben's biggest skill was boredom. And quietly, underneath all of it, the thing from our very first video was working for him. Compound growth. His money earned returns. Those returns earned their own returns. The snowball that crushed Maya's credit card was now rolling in Ben's favor because he was finally on the right side of it. Habit 4. The wall that protected it. There is one more habit, and without it, the other 3 eventually collapse. Think about Maya again. When something went wrong, a car repair, a vet bill, Maya had no cash, so the emergency went straight on to her credit card at 25% interest. Every surprise made her poorer. Ben built a wall so that could never happen to him. Habit 4, the emergency fund. Before Ben got aggressive with investing, he first parked 3 to 6 months of basic living expenses in a separate high-yield savings account. Boring cash. On purpose, money he could reach in a day. The emergency fund isn't an investment. It's the wall that stops a bad week from becoming a bad decade. This is the part beginners skip because it feels unproductive. It feels like money doing nothing, but that's exactly its job. When Ben's car needed an $1,800 repair, he did not panic, did not borrow, and did not touch a single dollar of his investments. He paid the bill from the wall and then calmly refilled the wall over the next couple of months. The investments behind the wall were never disturbed. They just kept compounding. The emergency fund's whole purpose is to let your real wealth grow without interruption, to make sure life's storms never force you to sell at the worst possible time. What you can take from Ben. So let's pull Ben's whole story into one place. 4 habits. That's the entire secret. There is nothing else behind the curtain. 1. Create a gap. Spend less than you earn, and when your income rises, do not let your lifestyle rise with all of it. Decide what enough looks like and stop moving the line. The gap is the raw material of all wealth. 2. Automate the saving. Set up automatic transfers on payday so saving happens before you can spend. Take your own willpower out of the equation. Pay yourself first, automatically, every single time. 3. Invest it simply, then leave it alone. Put long-term money into low-cost index funds inside tax-advantaged accounts. Don't pick stocks, don't chase tips, and don't sell when the market drops. Boredom is the strategy. 4. Build the wall first. Before investing aggressively, park 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. This emergency fund is what stops a surprise bill from becoming credit card debt. It protects everything else. Look at that list honestly. There is no trick in it, no talent, no luck, no rich parents. A 19-year-old at their first job and a 35-year-old starting over can both do all 4 starting this month. And here's the most encouraging math in this whole channel. Ben's results were small and unimpressive for a long time. For the first 2 years, his progress looked boring and slow. Then compounding caught up, and the last stretch to $100,000 came faster than the first. It always does. The boring years are not wasted years. They are the years that pay you back later. Closing Ben isn't a real person. Neither were Maya or Jordan, but together, the 3 of them are the whole map. Maya is what happens when you let your lifestyle eat your income. Jordan is what happens when you sign things you don't understand. Ben is what happens when you do 4 simple, boring things on purpose for a few unglamorous years. You get to choose which one your next 10 years look like, not by being smarter than everyone else, just by starting quietly, automatically this month. This channel teaches you what school didn't. No gurus, no scams, no buy my course. Just the truth, animated. New video every Tuesday. Next week, we slow down and go deep on the engine running underneath all 3 of these stories, compound interest, and exactly why starting at 22 instead of 32 is worth a fortune. Welcome to the club.